Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Professor, where we answer your questions on history, on political philosophy, on geopolitics, political culture, culture more generally, all those things that go into our common life.
All right, here's one you like. Luke is asking, in your old Reality University podcast, you reference The Supper of the Lamb. That's a book, obviously. And he's asking if you've read it, and if so, what do you think of it?
The answer is yes, I have read it, and I loved it. The Supper of the Lamb is this, in that genre of which there may not be a terribly large number of examples, it is a theological cookbook. Because it's by an Episcopal priest. His name is Robert Farrar Capon. And Capon is a good name for someone writing a cookbook, you have to agree. And in the narrow and earthly sense, it is about making a dinner with lamb. In fact, making a series of meals, using the whole lamb. But it's also about the Lamb of God and the fact that food and the ability to cook and creation generally are a gift, that they are good, that there is an affirmative realness to things. And so, for instance, when at one point you're slicing onions, he urges you to slice the onion and then stop and look at it and realize that it's not just this round white thing that makes you cry, that it's not symmetrical, in fact, that you can see from the roots to the tip inside a kind of striving upward, the elegant curves, the way that it swells, the potential that expands. And there are other speculations in the book as well that are, to me, extremely thought-provoking. I've quoted some of them in my quotations of the day on my website about this odd fact that although it is good to eat, it is convivial to eat, and meat is good, something had to die so that we could eat meat. And for the Christians, the view is presumably in the Garden of Eden this wouldn't have happened. And in heaven, you're not going to be killing things. And yet somehow there's something out of whack about the creation, and yet there is still a kind of fundamental goodness that you can perceive in the handling of ingredients, in appreciating the thingness of things, the meatiness of meat, the onionhood of onions. And to me, I think there's a profound wisdom here. And you see this also in the move back toward more natural farming and more organic food. And this concept that Joel Salatin talks about, respecting the pigness of the pig. At every stage, from how you raise piglets to what you feed an adult pig, to how you slaughter a pig and how you cook it. And so I found The Supper of the Lamb, it was a really surprising book. It was, we should worship God by appreciating the creation. That's not an original thought. I think it is very sound thought. And in the right hands, it can be profound. But when I picked up this book, I had no idea how a lamb chop might pertain to this. But in fact, it really is a marvelous celebration of what is sometimes in Christianity called the scandal of particularity. That some religions are so abstract that they try to banish reality. I mean, the Buddhists in particular, close your eyes and it will all go away. But to Christians, it's all very real. Their story is a historical story. They claim that the crucifixion, the resurrection happened in a particular place at a particular time as part of a story. And that to get to the general, you must go through the particular. It is through individual acts of charity that we come to understand and experience charity in the abstract. And that it is in eating particular pieces of food and enjoying preparing them that we come to understand the goodness of creation and the Creator. So yes, I have read The Supper of the Lamb. It is a wonderful book. It is offbeat in the best imaginable sense, and I recommend it not just to those who love cooking, but those who love life.
Mm-hmm. And even if you're not religious, which I'm not really, and I did find that interesting, and compare that to news recently that said that Americans now spend more money eating out than they do on groceries, and you want to despair and say, you're missing out on so much fun in cooking food and preparing food and teaching your children how to prepare food. How are they ever going to learn?
Yeah, the Last Supper was not takeout, and there's a reason for that.
All right. Well, that was a good way to end this. Thanks, people. If you want to play along and ask your question of the professor, the URL on your screen will take you to a page where everything is explained. Thanks, and see you next time.